The emergency around WNBA-adjacent ratings did not explode because of one bad night on television. It exploded because of what that night revealed when the noise died down. For weeks, sports media had ignored Unrivaled almost entirely. Then suddenly every outlet was doing backflips over one number. 21,000 fans packed into an arena in Philadelphia. Record-breaking attendance. A celebration moment. Headlines everywhere. It looked like validation, like proof of momentum, like a league finally turning a corner. But buried beneath the confetti was a far more uncomfortable truth that none of those headlines wanted to touch. While the arena was full, the televisions across America were empty. The audience didn't grow. It simply moved. On Friday, January 30th, Unrivaled staged its biggest moment yet. Breeze vs. Phantom and Rose vs. Lunar Owls were positioned as showcase events. There was no football competition. The promotion was heavy. The media coverage was loud. And when the ratings came in, the illusion collapsed. Each game pulled roughly 40,000 viewers in the key 18 to 49 demographic. Not sports rankings. All of television. 146th and 160th on the night. Those numbers weren't just underwhelming. They explained everything. The 21,000 people in the building were the same people who would normally be watching from their couches. The Philadelphia event didn't create new interest. It relocated an existing, limited audience. Once the novelty wore off, there was no one else left to tune in. That moment wasn't an anomaly. It was a symptom. Sports Media Watch laid it out plainly in their analysis of Unrivaled second season, and the picture was brutal. Through the first 3 weeks, the league averaged roughly 103,000 viewers across TNT and True TV. That represents a 44% decline from its inaugural season. In 1 year, nearly half the audience disappeared. This wasn't a league shrinking its footprint or cutting back. It expanded. 2 new teams. A 4th night of games. More marketing. More promotion. High-profile appearances. A headline-grabbing live event. Every lever you pull when you're trying to grow a sports property was pulled, and the result was collapse. The breakdown makes it even harder to ignore. Games that aired on both TNT and True TV averaged around 145,000 viewers. Games exclusive to True TV averaged roughly 64,000. And here's where the math turns unforgiving. That new 4th night of games Unrivaled added this season is almost entirely True TV exclusive. They expanded their schedule directly into the weakest distribution channel, and the audience responded by not showing up at all. Expansion didn't create demand. It exposed how thin the demand already was. The league will point to football competition, and on the surface that sounds reasonable. Half of their early broadcasts aired opposite NFL or major college football. The 2 highest-rated Unrivaled windows avoided football entirely. But that argument collapses under its own weight when you go back to Philadelphia. No football. Clear runway. Massive hype. National headlines. And still only 40,000 viewers in the most important demographic. At some point, competition stops being the excuse and the product becomes the question. People are not hunting these games down. They are not seeking them out. Even when everything lines up, the audience simply isn't there. That reality forces a conversation no one in the league wants to have yet. Television real estate is not charity. At 103,000 average viewers, Unrivaled is not delivering value to TNT or True TV. They are filling time slots that could be replaced with reruns, studio programming, or almost anything else with similar numbers and lower production costs. The only reason Unrivaled remains on cable is because Warner Bros. Discovery committed before seeing how fast the audience would erode. Those commitments don't last forever. The likely destination is a paywall. Streaming platforms will frame it as strategy. Direct to consumer. Superfan engagement. But the truth will be simpler. Broadcast numbers won't justify staying on television. Now place that collapse next to what happened on the exact opposite end of the basketball ecosystem. Sunday Night Basketball on NBC delivered something networks actually dream about. Lakers vs. Knicks pulled 4.5 million viewers with a peak of 5 million across NBC and Telemundo. The most watched regular season Sunday night NBA game since 2002 outside of Christmas. The Thunder vs. Nuggets game that followed averaged nearly 3 million. Combined, the package delivered close to 4 million viewers. That isn't survival. That's dominance. And sitting inside that success story was Caitlin Clark, making her debut as an NBA analyst. No gimmicks. No spectacle. No manufactured controversy. Just clear, confident, credible basketball analysis in front of a massive audience at Madison Square Garden. NBC executives didn't respond with polite compliments and move on. They scheduled her again. Knicks vs. Thunder on March 29th. And publicly stated they want to see more of her going forward. That's not hype. That's investment. This is where the conversation shifts from league failure to individual strategy. NBC isn't using Clark as a novelty or a viral moment. They are integrating her because she adds value to a product that already works. She understands the game. She communicates it well. And she enhances coverage people are already watching by the millions. That pathway matters. It shows a future for women's basketball voices that does not depend on propping up struggling league models or convincing audiences to care about something they have repeatedly ignored. The contrast is impossible to miss. Unrivaled did everything right on paper and lost nearly half its audience in 1 year. Clark showed up for one broadcast and immediately expanded her role. One side is trying to manufacture relevance. The other is building on existing demand. The lesson is uncomfortable but clear. There is a massive audience for high-level basketball. The NBA proves it every week. There is appetite for women in prominent sports media roles when they bring expertise and credibility. What there is not appetite for, at least in meaningful numbers, is off-season 3-on-3 basketball packaged as must-watch television. The Philadelphia event now looks less like a breakthrough and more like an expensive distraction. It generated headlines without converting viewers. It created the appearance of momentum without delivering growth. It proved the league can fill an arena once with enough marketing dollars, but it also proved that filling seats does not equal building a television audience. Sustainability lives in repeat behavior, not one-night spectacles. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is doing the smarter thing. She's attaching her brand to platforms that already reach millions. She's developing a media career that can extend into NBA coverage, NFL coverage, Olympic coverage, and streaming properties with global reach. She's not waiting for a league to find its footing. She's adding value where value is already being rewarded. That's not just good personal branding. It's a blueprint. The market is speaking clearly. It rewards products people want to watch and voices that make those products better. It punishes assumptions that attention can be manufactured through press releases and attendance photos.